Hey everybody, welcome to episode 8 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Hope everybody's doing well during this time. My special guest today is none other than Mr. Arnell Mega Milton. Coach, it's a pleasure to have you on this show.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. I appreciate it, really do.
So my first question is, when did the game of basketball begin for you?
Probably started playing ball seriously, 7th, 8th grade. I was more of a baseball player, ran track, played other sports. I got into basketball probably 7th, 8th grade. Got serious with it, playing at the McBurney YMCA, playing PAL. I think my first team I played on was actually BBR downtown. It was the first team I played on, 12 and under PAL tournament. So that's when my journey started.
What's Arnell Mega Milton's coaching philosophy?
What was the last thing you said?
What's your coaching philosophy?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't really ever thought about it that vaguely. Just competing, play the game the right way, honor the game, respect the game. Don't take shortcuts, play both ends, and play to win. More importantly, don't play for yourself. Don't play for stats. Don't play for clout. Play to win the game and play for your teammates.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. So, getting more into your history. So, where did you grow up, or where you originally from?
I'm from the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Nice.
So that's where I was born and raised. I mean, my basketball education came from all over New York City, but I'm from the Lower East Side.
So, what's the basketball culture like in the Lower?
It's a lot of talent, but it's also like too many people in it for the wrong reasons. Just my opinion. And I feel like a lot of kids are scared, even in my time, to venture out of their neighborhood and play. Like they get comfortable being the best in their area. But I mean, we all know being the best from your borough or your block doesn't mean nothing on wide scale in basketball. So that's one of the things I felt like was a shortcoming in the Lower East Side. There's always a lot of talent. The kids just never got the proper exposure. And because there was so many programs down here, a lot of kids didn't get that proper discipline. So, well, if you're gonna make me do this, I'll just go play with this team. So like I feel like a lot of kids down here didn't have the hunger. And a lot of kids that did have the hunger and the talent just didn't get showcased.
So what was
they weren't playing.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Like they weren't playing for Riverside or Gachos or the other powerhouse AAU teams at that time. And in that era, the 90s, there was only a few AAU programs. So if you wasn't playing with Riverside or playing with Gachos or playing with Brooklyn USA or the Panthers, then, if you didn't go to a really good high school, if you was from my side of the hood, it's really hard to get recruited to go to college.
So, what was the one tournament that when you were younger, that you liked to play in a lot?
Wow. One?
Or you could just give me a few.
King Anderson tournament was dope. PAL was dope. Nike swoosh until it became the Nike tournament. The Rucker tournament was also sponsored by Nike. Was tough. Housing was a good tournament. So you got to play against guys from other projects, other parts of the city. So I always liked the housing tournament. One of my favorite tournaments from around my way was the Lillian Ward tournament, which they no longer have, which is a shame. Any other tournaments? Really IS8. I forget IS8.
That's what's up.
IS8's always been real. That's one of the few tournaments where it's still, in my opinion, on the same level it was when I was a kid coming up.
So you did 4 years at LaSalle. That school has a lot of history in it. Talk about your time there.
It was great. I mean, met some great guys there, some great teammates that I'm still cool with. We had some moments, we had a lot of talent, but all the Cat School leagues, teams at that time had a lot of talent, especially if we was in the A division. Remember, in my era, there was no AA. It was A, B, and C before they switched it up. So in Riverside, of course, the Gachos, Brooklyn USA, were all feeding these teams players. So they had the best, like for example, the Rice team, they had guys that didn't even play that went in D1. And quite frankly, they had guys that had better college careers than had high school careers. That's just how deep the talent was in the Catholic School League at that time. And that's, I think, something that gets lost. I feel like it's coming back a little bit in the Catholic School League, but our better players are still, going out of town to get looks and get exposure. But my time there was good. I had some issues with the coaching, had some issues with how I was being recruited, how my recruitment was going. But besides that, it was a great time playing against quality competition, and it made me really see that if I wanted to do this, I had to step up my game.
So, in your time there, how far did you guys go in the playoffs?
2 years, we lost in the semifinals for the state championship. My junior and my senior year. My freshman year, I wasn't on varsity. They won the whole thing. That's the team around our test. Senior year, they won the whole thing. So we had a good run. And like I said, this is a time when the Catholic School League had at least 5 or 6 teams that are nationally ranked. So, and we pretty much didn't lose to any. We maybe lost my 2 years in varsity. We lost maybe 3 or 4 games to teams that weren't in the Catholic School League, and we didn't lose any public schools.
So, how was Bill Aber as a coach?
I didn't feel like I really learned much under him, just my opinion. Everyone might feel differently. There was always politics involved, which now that I'm on the coaching side of things, I don't agree with, but I understand. I came in as a kid, not heralded. They didn't recruit me. I actually had other schools that actually did recruit me, but I went to LaSalle because it was from the Lower East Side. And I wanted to play with a couple of my guys that are from down here, one of them being Brian Gardenhire. We're both from the Lower East Side. We both put in a lot of work and playing for the Fifth Street Boys Club. So me and him thinking we just go in there and we do the same thing we've been doing. And that reality just didn't happen. That's the main reason why I went to LaSalle, because I wanted to play with my friends that are from the Lower East Side. But if I did all over again, I might have made a different decision because I had options. But I'm not a Riverside kid. I wasn't a Gauchos kid, and I didn't play with Brooklyn USA until probably going into my junior year. So I had no one really protecting me. So all these programs are pushing for their kids to, just like now, they're pushing for their kids to play. And if you don't play your kids, what's going to happen? They're going to transfer out.
Right.
And then they're going to cut you off.
Yeah, and a lot of these schools can't afford that nowadays. Even in the PSAL, but most importantly, the CHSAA in some respects.
Yeah.
So at that time, you got to play with Lenny Cooke. How was he during that 1 year that you played with him?
I thought he was going to be a pro. I thought he was going to NBA. Not just him. We had another guy on the team named Rodney Jefferson that played at St. John's. He was like Kevin Durant before Durant, like 6'7", 6'8" guy that can handle like a guard, can shoot. Every team always tried to make him a big, and he was a guard. He was a wing player. But Lenny was phenomenal. He had a great run with us. He was like a man-child. He handled the ball a little bit. His jump shot started to develop. And, he broke a few rims my senior year. One actually on top of me during a warm-up, and I missed the whole first half. So I had to take glass out of my back. So that's a story a lot of people don't know. Yeah, we were playing the McDonald's Classic out in
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we beat 2 nationally ranked teams. We beat the team that what's his guy's little brother played for. It was 2 teams from Philly. We beat both of them soundly, won the championship. But I missed most of the championship game, so I was taking glass out of my back because he broke the damn basket during warm-ups. But one thing about Lenny, and I think it was lost in his documentary, because he was still trying to become a number 1 player, he had an incredible work ethic. Like he would get up, he would be at school early in the morning and work out and practice. And then he would go sometimes and work out and practice with Bishop Lockley. So he had like an unreal motor, but I think once he got to the level that he thought he was good enough, and he started getting all the praise and the clout, I think his work ethic started to drop. This is my opinion from what I observed from him being around for 2 years at LaSalle.
So after LaSalle, where did you go?
After LaSalle, I went to Western Reserve Academy and did a post-grad year. It's in Ohio. That's where I got to play against LeBron James because we were in the same conference.
What's the name of the school?
Western Reserve Academy.
Okay.
It's in Hudson, Ohio. Great academic school. We played a good schedule. it wasn't the best fit because I was already academically sound and qualified coming out of LaSalle. But after like the situation I had at LaSalle where I found out that I wasn't getting on my mail, I felt like if I,
So you
I
feel
was getting
like
on my mail.
so you feel like the coach was holding he was holding everything basically and didn't want to let you know what was going on.
I mean, but that wasn't uncommon back then because even now, it's AAU programs or coaches, not all of them. There's a lot of great guys in the game. I'm not saying Glade was a bad dude, but Lenny Cooke came out of the office one day. He had a lot of mail. It wasn't uncommon for Lenny to get a lot of mail. And I'm like, damn, Lenny got a lot of mail this week. And he's like, nah, this ain't for me. This is you and I, Dave Swan. Dave was the kid that was backing me up. He eventually took my starting spot like the last 2 games and I got it back. Because after I found out about that, I went through a major slump. Because I'm looking through the mail, I'm looking at some of the schools, and it's like, I thought I was doing wrong. Because Tom Kukowski, who just retired, he would always ask, how's my recruitment going? And I'm like, I'm getting like, all the Catholic school kids got all the local mid-major, low-level D1 schools like Fordham or whatever, offering them or interest. But I was like, I had a great AAU season. I did my thing in 5-star. I'm thinking I should be recruited higher than I'm getting. And then that kind of stamped it like I wasn't bugging out. Like I'm playing against guys that eventually played in the NBA. At this time, I think the Catholic School League was considered like the 3rd best high school league in the country. So I'm playing against some of the best guys in the country in my own backyard. I'm having a solid season. Like I wasn't going to be putting up 20 because you have other guys that can go. Like most Catholic schools, it's usually a balanced attack. But I was getting double digits, so I was just like kind of confused. And then when I got the mail, I kind of didn't want to play basketball anymore. And that kind of started another spiral with me just like being done with the politics. I get back to that. Even when I went to Western Reserve Academy, I was getting like 25, 30 a game when we was winning. The problem is I'm not paying any tuition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I academically sound. I got through the Boys Club program. And Boys used to have a really good, strong public prep school program where they place kids into different boarding schools. So I was enrolled in that program. So I'm doing my thing, and I'm the black kid from New York. I hate to make it a racial thing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's gone.
It is what it is. I'm the black kid from New York putting up numbers, and then the kid that was allegedly the best player on the team, and his dad went to Ohio State. His dad played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's not putting up numbers, and the coach is changing up the plays every other practice.
In order to appease the father.
Yeah. And I knew this because the assistant told me this. And like people just don't vibe. Then he put me to the 2, still getting 20. Put me to the 3, still getting 20. Bringing me off the bench, I'm still getting 20. Then he just stopped playing me for a while. So after like what I went through at LaSalle, being the person that sacrificed for the betterment of the team so we could win, so we could be successful. Now I'm a little more aggressive, a little more selfish. I'm still getting screwed over. So after all that, it was just kind of like, I'm just going to go where I could play. And I didn't care what division. I just want to go somewhere where I was wanted, and I knew I was going to play. And that's all I cared about at that time.
So where did you go after Western Reserve?
Well, after Western Reserve, once the season was over, because I already qualified, already got into the schools I wanted to get into. I had Hampton was recruiting me, Morgan State was recruiting me, Bucknell was recruiting me, and then there was a Division III school that I was going to Division II. In Washington Jefferson, I wound up going because the coach's son played on my prep school team, and I had a really good relationship with him. So I was like, I'm gonna go, and then I visited the campus. It's a beautiful liberal arts school in the middle of Pennsylvania, and I just fell in love with the place. I'm like, this is where I want to go.
Washington Adventist?
Washington and Jefferson College.
Oh, okay. Where's that located?
It's in maybe.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
It's about 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay, nice. So how was your time at Washington Jefferson College?
It was great. I enjoyed it. I flourished there. It was a little shaky my freshman year, mostly because I was still adjusting to when you get dicked over and over and over again,
Yeah, you
It
don't have
kind
to
of takes a
fuss.
while. Like, okay, I'm in a good situation where I don't need to be that person anymore. I can just come in and play basketball the way I want to play it. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to showcase. You know, my coach is on this. He doesn't start freshmen, which he told me coming in. Now, I played a lot and I played well. And the New York arrogance in me was like, nah, you gonna play me. So when our starting point guard, who was one of those solid dudes, he don't turn the ball over. He doesn't take a lot of shots, but he makes the shots he makes. The shots he takes, he makes. Plays great defense. So him starting with me, I was cool with. But when he went down, I was like, well, I should be getting that spot. And then the junior that was barely playing at the time started starting. So that left a bad taste in my mouth. But later on during the season, Coach told me, like, I want to bring you along slowly so you can flourish a year and year after that. So I did well there, but the problem was my junior year, he left. And I just left the school. And I left the school, I came back and just went to community college and finished up. And this is kind of why I'm the way I am as a coach. And we're helping kids getting into school, helping them get into good situations, because there's a lot of kids that have talent. The problem is they're just not in good situations, don't have the right people around them, or just not well educated on how the business side of basketball works.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So you graduated from that school?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So what happened after that coach
I was
left?
there for 2 years.
Okay. So did you transfer to another school?
Well, I was at this point in time, I was thinking about going to Baruch College because I was a business major.
Okay.
But they wanted me to go to community college, get my GPA up before I transferred in. And just like I got a decent job. I was doing my thing playing street ball. So I got to play overseas a little bit, and I just never went back to school.
So if you had the chance today, would you go back? If you had the opportunity, everything, because you doing good today. You know what I'm saying? You have the house, you married, you have a son. If time presented itself, would you? I know you're not gonna be playing ball now, but if time presented itself, would you do the school thing again?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I can't preach get education if I don't do the things. Like I was always, a good student, but at the point I was just like, you know what? I'm doing well. Basketball, off the basketball thing a little bit, I have a brain. I always go back to school, but I wound up getting into the training thing. So I had to study and all that type of stuff for that. Get my certifications from SA, from NAS, from ACE. So, and I'm thinking about getting my degree in something in that field. Even though I have the certifications, having that degree means a little bit more. So that's like my next little agenda after I kind of stabilize the things with Vision Academy where I'm at now.
Okay, we can talk about vision later. So,
No, I'm just mentioning it like that.
Okay, yeah. No, we gonna talk. We'll talk. We'll go on the mission. I'm sorry, vision later. But yeah. So when did you decide to start coaching?
That's a good question. I always was kind of coaching. It's the funny thing. My dad always said I'm gonna end up being a lawyer or a coach.
Mm-hmm.
He said lawyer because I like to argue, but I like to debate. He said, or a coach. And I was like, whatever. I was too into playing. So, but I worked at 5-Star when I was in college.
Okay.
I worked at Eastern Invitational. I would coach like younger teams in tournaments. Like Henry Street Settlement had a summer tournament, so I would coach like the B division. So I always was coaching. Just it wasn't something that I was thinking about doing as a career. So I was too much into playing. I thought I wouldn't have the patience for it. And then once I got into the personal training thing, I kind of slowly converted into the coaching.
Now with the personal training, like basically tell us what a workout with you looks like for a player.
What's the last thing you said?
I said tell me what a workout would look like for a player.
I have to hear it.
Yeah, so tell me what your normal workout what a normal workout with you for a player would look like.
See, and this is a thing. The workout depends on that player's individual needs. So it's not one universal workout for everybody.
Okay.
Even same thing for people that are like my regular fitness clients who are not athletes, who just want to lose weight, get stronger, stay healthy. their workout is dependent on their personal needs. So it's not one universal thing. So to do one universal thing, I think you're cheating the person, in my opinion. Right. So if I have a kid that, for example, I'll bring up Ish. Ish needed to get his core stronger, work on his foot speed. So I'm doing a lot of speed ladder stuff with him. I'm doing a lot of core work, a lot of static training, a lot of plyometric things with him, because that's what he needs in order for him to become the player that we've seen him become. He already was skilled. And one of the things I think a lot of people say is, like, with skinny players, they have to get bigger. You don't want them to get bigger. That's going to take away their advantages. You want them to get stronger. You get stronger without getting bigger. So when you see skinny kids put on a lot of weight too soon because they're being told that, what usually happens? They have injuries, knees, ankles. So that's like one of the things I hear a lot. That's not good advice.
I hear that.
Like Kevin Durant skinny, Steph Curry skinny, doing just fine.
That makes sense. So basically, it's more about skill than brawn.
Yeah. Well, basketball, you need functional strength. You don't need brute strength.
Right.
It's not the 80s and 90s where you have, like, there's no Rick Mahorns. There's no, I'm trying to light off. There's no Rick Mahorns. There's no, there's no Charles Oakleys anymore. So you don't need to be this big, strong guy. You need to be able to move, have fluidity, have agility.
Right.
So I feel like, everyone sees LeBron James. Oh, I want to be bigger like LeBron. Like, what you don't understand is he naturally looks like that.
Right. Absolutely. So when did Team Mega start?
Better question is, why did it start? So what happened is, same thing. I'm pretty much slowing down on the playing thing. I'm working in the boys club on 10th Street. I'm meeting some quality guys that could play. And through training, I just realized there's all these really good players. They're kind of under the radar, hidden gems. They're not playing for anybody. And I just thought that was weird. Like, I would ask my, because when you're training a kid, you want to see them play because you want to see if the things you're working on are translating into their games. I was like, oh, I'm not really playing nothing. I'm like, okay. So I was working at Boys Club. We have a budget. I was a basketball coach there, so I was bringing the Boys Club, and we just started playing in a few leagues. Then a lot of kids from Lower East Side were saying a lot of programs down here, they don't get the opportunity to play outside the neighborhood. So nobody was putting them in West Fork. Nobody was putting them in Tri-State. Nobody was putting them in Dykeman. No one was putting them in I-State. They're just playing in local stuff. Mm-hmm. So I already had those type of connected relationships because I played in all those tournaments growing up as a kid and Unlimited. So I had relationships with Mouse. I had relationships with Kenny. So that was easy for me to do. So, like, one hand wash the other. Like, if I feel like my training is top notch, why not showcase that by putting a team together with kids that I'm working out with? And that's kind of how it happened, and it just kind of blew up into something that I didn't expect it to.
Now, you're very vocal about New York City basketball and things that happen. What do you feel like needs to change when it comes to the city in terms of anything? Like, what are some concerns that you have?
We got to stop having coaches that's stealing money, especially in the public school division. I've heard too many stories about, for example, I'm recruiting now, and I'll ask a kid, do you have film? Like, well, we didn't record games. And I'm like, how many often in the gym? We don't really get a lot of practice time. So we can't get mad when kids are going to NESPEC or leaving to go to boarding school or prep schools to elevate their stock when they're not getting those things offered in New York City. For example, when I went to boarding school, that was the first time I did a preseason conditioning ever. You didn't do that at LaSalle. When we did LaSalle, we had open gym. It's the first time I actually had it yet. As good as we were, we had open gym. We didn't have a weight training program. We didn't have any of that. Right. So I went to Western Reserve. We have a weight training program. We have trainers on staff. We have our own individual workouts that we do 3 times a week. We're in the gym doing individuals. And then you're away from the city, so you don't have any of those distractions. All you're doing is going to class and putting in the work. And that's why we see all these kids that leave wind up doing better.
Right.
It's not because the city itself doesn't have talent. It's just the opportunities are better outside. Like how many public schools in New York City have a quality weight room program or weight room period?
On one hand, I could say probably a few, but not too many.
Not too many, right? You know, so and then academically, because I know this because the coaches told me, like, especially in the PSAL, I was like, well, I like the kid, he can play, but will he qualify?
That's another thing.
Can he play in a structured system when he doesn't touch the ball 90% of the time? Like these are questions that they ask, and like when you see most of the we won't talk about the double A stuff, but I think they're doing all right. Everyone else is usually 1 or 2 guys dominating the ball, and 3 other guys is out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like not a lot of teams are running any type of sophisticated offense, sophisticated defense. It's just you're recruiting the best talent, and then I said, then if you're 6'5", 6'6", and you can jump, where you playing? By the basket. Now, there's nothing wrong with you playing like a power forward or center on defense, but offensively, they're not even working on your game because they're worried about winning games. So I feel like one of the main problems in New York City, I know I went on a tangent, is guys value winning over development.
Right.
I think that's what the problem is. It's not everybody. So I don't want to make it sound like that, but it's enough that it seems like it's everybody.
Indeed.
And like this, and let's be real, like North Carolina is not coming to Brooklyn, New York to watch a kid play unless it's a kid they're already recruiting. So if you don't go away and play in all these invite-only tournaments, you're not really showcasing your kids. And if I go to a boarding school or the right prep school, I'm going to get showcased.
I could say,
go ahead.
Yeah, I could say this. That is true, like what you're saying. They may come to a Catholic school game, but for a PSAL kid, the best way he has a chance of seeing these schools is the AAU route or prep school. As far as the prep school, like I've been to the showcase in November before Thanksgiving in New Haven, and at most you'll see maybe 20, 30 NBA scouts. I'm sorry, yeah, around like maybe 10, 15 NBA scouts and about 20, 30 Division I coaches. But at a regular, like that make, and you know what I'm saying, that's even better for these kids. Whereas, let's say if New York City had an NBA talent, you know, that could jump to the NBA, like, you know what I'm saying, they're not, the scouts aren't permitted to go to regular high school games. Whereas at a prep school, if that kid is that good, they're able to go to, the scouts are able to go see them whenever they want.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so like I said, it's not a talent thing. We can go down the list, and I go name for name. How many kids was in the city and got low-level D1s, left and reclassed, or just left, and then now starting to get in high majors?
Mm-hmm.
Like how many kids? James Boatnight. No shade to Jerome. Jerome did a wonderful job with LaSalle. When he went to McDuffie, his whole life changed basketball-wise.
Right.
Did he get that much better? No. Did the light come on maybe because he's playing against better players where he can't take a night off or go through the motion and drop 30? Yeah, that's what happened. Femi and Cooks. And Smoke does a wonderful job at South Shore. But you can tell they were not getting some of those same looks when they were at South Shore. And that's not Smoke's fault because I know Smoke does his due diligence. But then they go to boarding school and all of a sudden all these schools are jumping on them.
Syracuse and Pitt are the recipients.
So, you know, Femi's good, but did Femi get that much better in 1 year that they didn't want him a year ago? No. Part of this recruitment thing is the coaches, when they're trying to look at your game and evaluate your talent level, it's much easier if you're playing against other good players. So you getting 30 against like a Woodstock is a little bit different. Teams in New York City because they can properly evaluate because you're playing against other Division I prospects. Mm-hmm. You know, like it is what it is. Like I remember at one point in time, if Coach K walked into a gym in New York City, it wasn't a big deal. If Dean Smith walked into a gym in New York City, it wasn't a big deal. And I'm talking for like a practice. Mm-hmm. Like what happened with RJ and Adrian Griffin, remember they had that practice had a bunch of coaches up in there. That used to be the norm.
Mm.
So what's happened?
That's a great question.
And it's not just one person's job to fix this collective thing. You all gotta look in the mirror and say, what can we do better to better represent our city so kids feel like they have their best options here? Because if I'm a kid and I know I've been, attacked for saying this, but if you can go to prep school and it's not gonna hurt you financially too much, you should go.
That is true.
I mean, you have access to a gym you can go to pretty much anytime you want. Most of these boarding schools have multiple gyms. The gym's usually open most of the day. You're on somewhat of a college schedule. So when you don't have class, you can go in the gym and get shots up. You can go to the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
You go run on the track. Some of these places have indoor tracks and great facilities. Some of these places have facilities that rival some Division I colleges. So how can you tell a kid not to do what's best for them? That's just selfish.
Like a lot of the schools in the city, they don't want to lose certain kids because I guess having them around makes them look better. But in reality, that more hinders the kid than helps him.
Well, that's part of it. Like you have to make that line in the sand. Am I about just winning for any cost, or am I about doing what's best for the kids, even if that means them leaving my program? Like, let's just keep it real. I've helped, well, not helped, I won't use it that way, but I've had kids that I pushed to other AAU programs because at the time I was an AAU team. Mm-hmm. I could have been selfish and be like, oh, no, just stay with me. That helps my team make a brand. Does that help the kid? Mm-hmm. You're saying you play all these tournaments with me or you can play EYBL. No, my dude, you playing EYBL. That's the end of that conversation.
Right.
So I feel like it's are you more about doing stuff to promote yourself or doing stuff that's going to help the kids? And that doesn't mean you can't do both. Which one is more important to you?
Right. And then on top of that, like you're dealing with an education system like the Board of Ed that's, that doesn't really prepare the kids, to succeed. It's more about failure. It's more about bringing in money, unfortunately. But, that's just what it is. And then on top of that, the good thing about the prep schools is that they really prepare the kids academically. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
everything is more rigorous, so when they get to college, they'll be prepared. But also, the kids can, once they graduate, the kids can come back and they can actually visit their schools. Same thing with the Catholic schools here, but the public schools, it's almost like the kids aren't really welcome back. There's quite a lot of schools where there's a lot of metal detectors, and if the security guards don't know who you are, they won't let you in the building. So it's unfortunate.
Well, the problem is like you're treated like a number. So the moment that you graduate, even if you're a big time high school star, they don't care anymore. You're gone. Right. Rather than like you go to a Catholic school, like most Catholic schools, the volume of students is much smaller. So when you come back, you go see your old teachers. In most places, you can even come back and like if you want to work out, you can come and work out and practice with the team. It's just that type of fraternity, I feel like. Like when I left LaSalle, I could always come back to LaSalle and work out when I was home from college or home from prep school. I just call Abra up or whoever, like, listen, I'm home. What time you have practice? I come and work in with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That was, but also because Catholic schools kind of work in their own arena. They really have to answer to anybody else. For the public school, they have to answer to the state, the city, and the state. So it's a little bit different. I hear what you're saying, but back on something else you touched, academically being prepared for college. Most of these kids don't even know about the clearinghouse.
Another problem.
They don't know about it, or qualifying, or SAT prep, or what they need a GPA to be, or what core curriculum they need. A lot of kids is lost on that. I know this from having conversations with kids.
Yeah, and then the guidance counselors don't even know about that stuff either. But that's also not their priority. Their priority is getting the kids into the next class or just giving them whatever options. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the guidance counselors are not really knowledgeable about athletics, which is a shame.
True, but you should be knowledgeable about what the kid needs to be able to get into that school.
Right.
Even if you're not going as an athlete, you don't have some of your core requirements, you're not getting into those schools. Exactly. You're going to have to go to junior college or community college anyway. So, like I said, preparing these kids, giving them good situations to help them out, And then it's across the board. And like I feel bad for some guys' counselors because I don't want to be here like I'm talking down to people and putting people on the bus because it's a hard job. You got so many students that you have to work with. You're gonna get kind of worn out. It's gonna happen. So we're all human. We all have our limits. But like I said, this issue is not targeted at a few individuals. It's everybody. I'm included. I'm part of the problem too. We all got to take our accountability and how can we fix this? And not because we need all these kids going to NBA, but the point of this is to use basketball to open up doors for yourself and to help your situation. So when you go to school, you don't have to pay all these college loans when you get your diploma. You can go right to the workforce. You don't have debt hanging over your head. Even like some kids like, I don't want to go D3. If you're going to a Division III school that's one of the better academic schools in the country, and tuition is $30,000 to $50,000 a year, and you ain't paying $5,000, you're winning. You're winning. Like we kids are looking at it from the big game or the big picture. They look at it from like, oh well, I can't go D3 because two of my friends went D1. And there's all this clout chasing and stuff. Like, don't worry about your friends. Your friend's journey is not your journey. You gotta do what's best for you, not what best impress other people.
Exactly. So tell me about, some of the kids that you're training from the LES.
Long list. I work with Jasiah Lewis, who went to Lincoln High School. He's not doing his thing in JUCO. Probably soon he'll be announced where he's going next. Jalen Sinclair is going to Lehigh, sorry. Patriot League, doing his thing. Louis, of course, from St. Ray's. He should be announcing soon where he's going to end up. So another kid, Amon Williams. He's at boarding school. Raymond Moore, he was at Vander Christian. He's doing his thing. Sophomore, going to his junior year. He's about to make a really big announcement because he's going to be going to a really good school, both academically and for basketball.
Outside of the city?
Outside the city.
Okay.
I had a nice conversation, but I'm not going to say where because he will announce it when he wants to announce it.
Okay.
But there's something big coming for him. 6'5" kid that reminds you a lot of Willie and James Boatnight.
Okay.
He reminds me of both of them a lot. So he's going to be going to a really good situation. And he's one of the kids like, listen, if the school's going to offer you a scholarship and you're going to play your proper position, I don't know why we're still having the conversation. You got to go. You don't turn a school like that down. Like there's a long list of kids from the lower that I was part of their village. I'm not going to say I'm the changing factor for their lives or I did this, that, and the third. Like everyone played a part. And I played my part. I'm happy to be involved, and I've had to help them out in some case. Jonathan Chery, who went to BDA, he should be announcing where he's going pretty soon, hopefully. So a lot of kids that from Lower East Side that are part of the C-Maker program are doing pretty well. And well for me is meaning you're going to school, and you'll be able to play college basketball. And then hopefully whatever happens after that happens after that.
This year, Luis Kortright, he really did some great things at St. Ray's. Talk about, his 4 years and like the maturation you've seen in his game.
To me, Louis always was the goods. Especially when he has a little growth spurt and you start playing above the rim. The thing with Louis was if he doesn't know that he's outright the best player on the team, sometimes he can defer and not have that confidence. But you see moments, like I used to see moments in him when he was like, yo, this kid got it. Like I remember when Mousy had that big tournament a few years back at Basketball City. And he was playing with me and we were playing at Sports U. And Louis had like 30 points. And it was like, you could see he was on the same level as a lot of the guys that are on that team that were All-Americans and played big-time Division I basketball. The thing with Louis was he was so skilled and so smart that when he didn't play against quality competition, he would cut corners because he could. It's hard to tell a kid to play hard when you know he doesn't have to. So I think when he was 9th, 10th grade, I put him in Tri-State. He played in ISA. Some other tournaments outside the neighborhood. And I think that helped mature him. And then seeing guys like Jalen Sinclair do well playing with PSA and playing on the EYBL circuit. And seeing Jasiah Lewis do well and win city and state championships for Lincoln. I think it kind of motivated him. You know, sometimes your best competition, your best motivation is your peers.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Indeed.
so, and I think this year he was just aggressive. He knew he was the guy, and he was consistent. Like he had flashes his sophomore and junior year of this type of level of play. It just wasn't consistent.
Indeed. So now we can talk about what it is you wanted to talk about before. Vision Academy.
Oh no, I was just bringing it up just to bring it up because Vision Academy, along with what I was going to be doing AAU wise this year before everything got canceled, is ways in which I can have more services to help kids, like a bigger safety net.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we just talked about, it created a lane. My boy Howard, who runs Love of the Game, this is his love child. He's the director, creator of all this. But he's been talking about doing something like this for a while. And there's so many kids in the city that can play, but just in bad situations,
Mm-hmm.
or just not playing respectable competition in which our college coaches get respect what the numbers they're putting up. There's a lot of kids playing the B and A division that can go. They have Division One, Division Two ability, but they're not being seen. They don't play AAU basketball, or they don't play for a strong AAU basketball team. So this was another lane in which we can help kids. So I'm the head coach for the post-grad team, and Howard's put a phenomenal schedule together. We play a national schedule. We play some of the best teams in the country. We'll be playing in the Power 5 conference, and you already know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So in this situation, if you don't play Division One, Division Two ball, it's because you didn't perform. It's not because you didn't get seen. It's not because you didn't play against the competition. You didn't produce. And then we'll have people recording the games. We'll put packages together and send them to coaches. So it's a situation where like we're doing everything in our power to help you get that scholarship. Or even if you're a kid that doesn't qualify, instead of going to a Division III JUCO, you go to a higher level Division I JUCO. So it's just a situation where you can up your stock. And academically, we offer SAT prep. You offer college credits, college courses, all that type of stuff. So, and you'll be an opportunity to work out twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have workouts in the morning, then the kids go to class. Then we have team practice in the afternoon afterwards. So you, like I said, you have every opportunity to get bigger, stronger, faster, work on your game, work on your skills, work on your IQ. We're going to do film work, all that stuff, and kind of try to expose you as much as we can to the college atmosphere. And one of the best things is you can get the prep school, how can I put this? The prep school experience and still stay in the city.
Indeed.
So yeah. So that's a good selling point for us.
That's a good.
We do provide housing for players out of the state. We're mostly trying to help New York City kids.
That sounds pretty nice, man. Pretty good. So, final question: what's next in the future for Arnell, Omega, Milton?
Doing big things with Vision Academy. Starting to open up my training services in the Maryland area as well. Like I said, I want to get a few more certifications and probably my kinesiology degree eventually. Just doing things to help build my brand and help, my resume and my portfolio as a trainer and as a coach. And just keep helping the kids as much as I can and raising my son, of course. Those are my main priorities right now, So I'm really excited for some of the kids we have coming in, some of the kids that should be announcing in a few weeks that are coming to us. I should have a really good post-grad team. And hopefully these kids get the opportunity to go to school for free because that's what this is all about. The MBA is the dream, but that degree is the goal.
Indeed. That's a great way to put it. Well, thank you for coming on, Arnell. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck during the season next year with Vision Academy, and I'll definitely be watching you guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. It was always good when I could talk hoops and kind of get my feedback and my, opinion on certain things going on in the city. So I definitely appreciate you for having me on.
Indeed. Well, guys, this is the end of episode 8. Look forward to episode 9 during the next time. Check us out on YouTube and IGTV. Take care, guys. Peace.